Great Plains, where the Lakota tribe has a story that wove itself into the land, and where Fort Robinson in Nebraska holds the most tragic and powerful moments in Native American history. The history of the Lakota and the events at Fort Robinson State Park show the cultural traditions of the Lakota and the impact the Battle of Fort Robinson had on their community. Today, I will be talking about the Lakota and the correlation between Fort Robinson State Park. To better understand the history, let's talk about the unique culture and the traditions of the Lakota before looking at the events that took place at Fort Robinson. First, let's look at the Lakota tribe and their values, traditions, and beliefs. The Lakota have 7 Lakota values: fortitude, generosity, kinship, prayer, respect, wisdom, and compassion. An old Lakota saying is, what you give away, you keep, and what you keep, you lose. The Lakota people submerge their culture in family beliefs that are very different than most. Their beliefs are believe in everything in the world contains a spirit. Interconnections, animism and spirit world, sacredness of nature, sacred pipe. They believe that everything in the world contains a spirit, even inanimate objects. Something so little as rocks, stick, or smoke all have great meaning to them. The Lakota people have many traditions that differ from other cultures. Some traditions include keeping of the soul, the rite of purification, the sun dance, and a girl's coming of age. These traditions all involve sacrifice in the Great Spirit. Everything they celebrate has a purpose and intended for the God above. Now that we have more understanding of the Lakota people, let's transition and dive deeper into their history and how it involves Fort Robinson State Park and the tragic events that happened there. Fort Robinson State Park was established in 1874 in Crawford, Nebraska. It was a major fort built in the American West, but was originally built as an encampment to protect the Red Cloud Agency. It got its name in honor of Lieutenant Lewis Robinson, who was killed by Native Americans in Fort Laramie. Before becoming a state park, it housed many important events, as the death of leader Crazy Horse, which shaped the Lakota tribe. Crazy Horse died in Fort Robinson, unnecessarily on September 5th, 1877. He surrendered after a long winter of attacks by the U.S. military, and he did not want his people to suffer any longer. He died from a soldier who thrusted a bayonet into his kidney, who lured him in, unlikely. He did not know that they were trying to lure him in, and they wanted to end his life. Crazy Horse became the symbol of resistance and power for the tribe. Fort Robinson holds such important and tragic events to the Lakota people, but to me, it means family, reunion, and a sense of love. Ever since I could remember, I would go to Fort Robinson every year and have family reunions and see so many of my family members from different states. This tradition stemmed from when my dad was a teenager and has gone on for over 50 years. To me, the state park resembles love, family, and tradition. I remember the horse rides, the haystack breakfast, the fishing, and all the family members that I would see that I have not seen for years. To the Lakota, this place may represent tragedy, new beginnings, but to me, I look forward to every summer where I can reconnect and see the people who support and love me. Today, as we dug deeper into the history of Fort Robinson, I also reminisce on how much meaning this place has to me personally. Growing up surrounded by the history has given me more appreciation for the lives it has impacted and the land the state park rests on. The culture of the Lakota people and the events at Fort Robinson State Park symbolize the long-lasting effects that the state park had on the tribe as a whole. The values, beliefs, and tradition that make up the Lakota people, combined with the history at Fort Robinson, make for something bigger than just a group of people. It created a community so tight and loving that it will last for life. As you leave this room today, I ask you to reflect on the land around you and think about the history surrounding it. Whether you take a trip to Fort Robinson or decide to dive deeper into the Lakota people's history, take a second to think about the stories and continue to shape their several community and how the past has impacted the present and the future. By understanding other cultures, such as the Lakota, and learning about significance of state parks, we gain much appreciation for the history surrounding them and the stories that shape them.